trust me, you are the only one they want. I know sometimes your mind starts playing tricks on you. You start wondering, why didn't they call? Or who were they talking to? You start doubting your worth, doubting their loyalty, doubting the love that's right in front of you. But let me tell you something powerful. When someone truly wants you, their actions speak louder than any fear whispering in your ear. Confidence is the foundation of love. You see, when you walk into a relationship with your head held high, knowing who you are and what you bring to the table, you set the tone for how that relationship will move. Confidence doesn't mean arrogance. It means peace. It's that calm energy that says, I know my worth and I don't need to prove it to anyone. Love built on insecurity is shaky. It wobbles every time something small goes wrong. But love built on confidence that's unshakable, it doesn't break when storms come. It stands because both people know their value and what they mean to each other. Now, I'm not talking about pretending to be perfect. Confidence ain't about never feeling doubt. It's about trusting that even when things get rough, you've got what it takes to get through it. When you believe in yourself, you stop depending on someone else to make you feel whole. You love from fullness, not emptiness. That's when love becomes healthy. A confident woman, a confident man, then they don't chase validation, they create peace. And when you have that peace inside, your partner feels it too. It becomes contagious. It makes them feel safe, grounded, and connected in a deeper way. When you don't have confidence, you start second guessing everything. You start wondering if they're talking to someone else, if they still care, if they'll leave. You start building stories in your head that don't even exist. And that's how relationships fall apart, not because love isn't there, but because insecurity starts taking the wheel. When you let fear drive, you crash into things that were never meant to break. But when you lead with confidence, you see the truth clearly. You can tell when love is genuine. You can feel it in how they look at you, how they protect your heart, how they show up for you. Confidence changes the energy in every room you walk into. It tells people, I'm not desperate for your love. I'm deserving of it. That's power. That's freedom. When you love yourself enough to stand tall, you attract people who respect that. And let me tell you, respect is the oxygen of love. Without it, love suffocates. Confidence keeps that oxygen flowing. It reminds both of you why you started in the first place, because there was something real, something worth trusting. Sometimes you just need to remind yourself, I am enough. Not because someone told you, but because you know it. You can't expect someone to trust you if you don't even trust yourself. You can't build a bond if you're always questioning your place in it. Confidence allows you to stop searching for proof of love and start living in the experience of it. It lets you breathe. It lets you love. It lets you be. Because when you carry confidence in your spirit, you stop begging for reassurance. You start attracting commitment. That's when love stops being a battle and starts being a blessing. When someone truly loves you, they show it not just say it. Love is not built on words alone. It's built on actions that speak louder than any "I love you" ever could. You can tell when someone's love is real because it shows up in the quiet moments, not just the grand ones. It's in the way they listen when you talk, even when you're saying the same thing for the 10th time. It's in the way they remember the little details, like how you take your coffee or what song makes you smile. Real love doesn't need to announce itself. It just exists in how they treat you day after day. There are a lot of people out here talking about love, but very few who actually live it. Anybody can send a text saying, "I miss you," but it takes someone real to show up when you need them. Anybody can post about loyalty, but only a few will prove it when things get hard. When someone truly loves you, they won't have to convince you with fancy words or sweet promises. You'll know it because you'll feel it in your spirit. Their consistency will tell the story. Their lips don't have to. Love shows up in patience. It shows up in sacrifice. It shows up when they choose to stay even when walking away would be easier. That's the thing about real love. It's not always perfect, but it's always present. You'll know they mean it because even in the middle of misunderstandings, they won't use silence as a weapon. Even when you argue, they won't try to win. They'll try to understand. Real love fights for peace, not for power. It's about connection, not control. When someone's heart is in it, you'll see it in their eyes and feel it in their presence. You won't have to chase reassurance because they'll give it to you naturally. You won't have to question their loyalty because their consistency will answer for them. You won't need to beg for attention because they'll make you a priority without being asked. See, true love isn't about convenience. It's about commitment. It doesn't disappear when life gets busy or when things get tough. It grows stronger, more intentional, more grounded. A person who truly loves you will want to see you win. They'll support your dreams, even the ones that don't include them. They'll pray for your peace, celebrate your success, and comfort your pain. They won't compete with you. They'll complete you. And you'll never have to doubt it because their actions will make their love undeniable. They'll protect your heart like it's their own. They'll make you feel safe enough to be vulnerable, to be yourself, to be human. That's what real love does. So when you're with someone who consistently shows up, don't take that for granted. When they choose you every day through their actions, not just their words, understand the value in that. Because anyone can say, "I love you," but only a few will prove it without needing to say it at all. Insecurity destroys what trust was meant to protect. When you start doubting yourself or the person you love, it doesn't just hurt your confidence, it starts tearing down the foundation that your relationship was built on. You see, trust is a fragile thing. It takes time to build, but only a moment of fear to shake it. And insecurity, if left unchecked, becomes like a silent storm. It doesn't always come loud, but it slowly eats away at peace, at closeness, at that sense of safety two people need to grow together. Insecurity comes from fear, fear of losing someone, fear of not being enough, fear of being replaced. And those fears, if you feed them, will turn into habits. You start checking their phone, questioning their intentions, overanalyzing their every move. Before you know it, you're not protecting your heart anymore. You're building walls around it. And here's the thing about walls. They don't just keep the pain out. They also keep love from getting in. You can't experience real intimacy if you're constantly suspicious. You can't build a future if your mind is always stuck on what if. Sometimes insecurity doesn't come from the person you're with. It comes from what you've been through. Maybe someone in your past lied to you, betrayed you, or left you when you least expected it. And now, every time someone loves you, you hold your breath, waiting for it to end the same way. But that's not fair to you or the person trying to love you right. You can't heal in a new relationship if you keep expecting old pain. Trust was never meant to be a prison. It was meant to be a promise. When you truly trust, you give love the freedom to grow. Love isn't about controlling someone's every move. It's about believing in their intention. If you have to monitor them to feel safe, then you're not in love, you're in fear. Real trust gives both people room to breathe. It says, I don't need to watch you because I know your heart. That kind of trust gives peace, and peace is what keeps love alive. Insecurity takes that peace away and replaces it with tension. It makes every silence sound suspicious and every delay feel like rejection. You start fighting battles that don't even exist, and eventually that wears love down. The truth is, no one can reassure you enough if you don't believe you're worthy of love in the first place. No amount of I love yous will fix what you refuse to heal inside. You have to learn to trust yourself again, to know that even if someone disappoints you, you'll still be okay. Because when you have faith in your own strength, you stop letting insecurity control your story. You start loving freely, trusting boldly, and living with peace instead of fear. Trust was meant to protect the love between you, not to test it to destruction. When you stop letting insecurity drive the relationship, love finally gets the space to thrive. Real love is consistent, not convenient. It doesn't show up only when it's easy, and it doesn't disappear when life gets tough. True love isn't about timing or perfect moments. It's about showing up again and again, no matter what's happening around you. Anybody can love you when things are smooth, but it takes real commitment to love you through the storms. The kind of love that lasts isn't built on convenience, it's built on dedication. When someone truly loves you, they don't just give you their words, they give you their effort. They make you feel secure, not through promises, but through presence. Love becomes real when it's tested. When the arguments come, when the misunderstandings happen, when life throws unexpected challenges, that's when consistency matters most. You can't build a strong relationship with someone who loves you one day and doubts you the next. Real love doesn't take breaks. It doesn't say, I'll love you when it's comfortable. It says, I'll love you even when it's hard. That kind of love stays steady, grounded, and loyal. It's not built on convenience or circumstance. It's built on choice. Every day that person chooses you, not because it's perfect, but because you're worth it. Convenient love is conditional. It says, I'll stay as long as things go my way. But consistent love says, I'm here even when they don't. It's about being dependable, showing up when it matters, and keeping your word. People talk a lot about chemistry, but what really holds a relationship together is consistency. Chemistry might bring you together, but consistency keeps you there. It's not the grand gestures that prove love. It's the small, everyday actions that show commitment. A text to check on you, a hug when you're tired, a conversation when things get tense, that's love. You can always tell when someone's love is convenient. They come around when they need comfort, but disappear when you need support. They speak sweet when they want something, but go silent when it's your turn to need them. That's not love. That's selfishness disguised as affection. Real love, though, doesn't vanish when things get complicated. It's patient through your moods, understanding through your silence, and gentle even when you're not at your best. That's the kind of love that builds trust because it proves you're safe with them, not just when you're easy to love, but when you're hard to handle. Consistency gives love credibility. Without it, words lose their meaning. You can say, I love you 100 times, but if your actions don't match, it's empty. When love is real, it's not about convenience. It's about commitment. It's showing up for each other when life is messy, uncertain, and difficult. It's choosing to be loyal when temptation, distance, or challenges appear. Real love doesn't need the perfect moment. It creates it through effort and presence. That's the kind of love that doesn't fade, doesn't waver, and doesn't quit. That's the kind of love worth trusting. If they chose you, it's because they see something in you no one else can offer. You might not see it yourself, but trust me, they saw a light in you that stood out from the rest. It wasn't about looks, status, or what you could give them. It was something deeper. Something about your soul, your kindness, your spirit, the way you love, the way you care. People don't just fall for appearances, they fall for how you make them feel. And when someone chooses you, truly chooses you, it's because they felt something in your presence that they couldn't find anywhere else. See, in a world full of options, being chosen is powerful. It means someone looked around, saw everyone else, and still said, I want you. That's not by chance. That's because there's something rare about you. Something only they understand. You might doubt yourself sometimes, question whether you're enough, or wonder why they picked you. But love doesn't choose by logic. It chooses by connection. It's not about who's the most perfect. It's about who fits your soul. When someone sees you for who you are, flaws and all, and still wants you, that's real. The beauty of being chosen is that it reminds you that your uniqueness has value. The things you once thought made you too much or not enough Those are often the very things that made someone fall for you. Maybe it's your laughter, your honesty, your quiet strength, or the way you listen. Maybe it's how you make people feel safe without even trying. That's what they saw. That's what made them stay. So stop thinking you need to change to be loved. The right person doesn't ask you to shrink yourself. They celebrate the parts of you that others overlooked. When someone truly chooses you, they don't compare you to anyone else. They don't keep one foot in and one foot out. They invest in you because they believe in what you bring into their life. And don't confuse being chosen with being needed. Someone can need you for convenience, but choosing you, that's intentional. That's commitment. That's love. They could have stayed where it was easier, but they came to you because their heart found peace there. That's something money, looks, or attention can't buy. That's connection. It's easy to forget your worth when you've been overlooked before. But remember, the right person doesn't need convincing. They'll feel it. They'll recognize your value without you having to prove it. They'll choose you not because you're perfect, but because you're real. And real stands out. When someone's heart truly finds home in you, it's because you offer something no one else can, your essence, your truth, your love. So don't ever doubt that. When they chose you, it wasn't luck. It was purpose. They saw something in you that reminded them of peace, of love, of home. And that's something no one else could ever replace. Trust is not given once. It's built every day through faith and understanding. You don't earn someone's trust overnight, and you can't keep it by doing the bare minimum. Trust is something that grows through consistency, honesty, and emotional safety. It's a daily choice, not a one-time promise. Every word, every action, every decision either strengthens that bond or weakens it. People think trust is about grand gestures, but really it's about the small things, keeping your word, listening when it matters, showing up when you say you will. That's how you build something solid, something that can stand even when life gets heavy. When two people are building trust, it's not about being perfect, it's about being genuine. Nobody expects you to never make mistakes, but they do expect you to be real about them. The moment you start hiding, lying, or pretending, you put cracks in the foundation. But when you own up, communicate, and work through things, those cracks turn into lessons. And those lessons build deeper respect. Trust thrives in truth, and it dies in silence. You can't build something real with half-truths and mixed signals. It takes full honesty to create full connection. Every day in a relationship gives you a chance to prove your intentions. When you make your partner feel seen, heard, and valued, you're telling them, you can count on me, and that means more than any big promise. Trust isn't about controlling or testing someone. It's about feeling secure enough not to. It's about knowing that even when you're apart, they're still loyal. It's about faith, not blind faith, but earned faith. And that takes time. Sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's uncomfortable, but it's always worth it when it's real. The truth is, love without trust will always feel like walking on thin ice. You'll be afraid to step too far, afraid to speak too freely, afraid to fall too deep. But when trust is strong, you move without fear, you communicate openly, you love freely, you breathe easily. That's what love is supposed to feel like. Peace, not anxiety. And that peace doesn't come from perfection. It comes from faith in each other. It comes from understanding that mistakes don't mean betrayal and distance doesn't mean disconnection. It's knowing that your love is stronger than a bad day, a disagreement, or a rough season. Building trust is a daily investment. You can't stop nurturing it just because things feel stable. Every day you have to show up, not because you have to prove yourself, but because you choose to protect what you've built. That's the kind of trust that lasts. It's not about control, it's about care. It's about growing together and saying, no matter what happens, I've got you. That's how trust becomes love's backbone, something that holds everything else up. It's not built in a day, but it's built every day. And when both people commit to that, love becomes unbreakable.